YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Crypto J coming at you with another J Talks show. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. You know what time it is. Didn't tell anybody that I was going on today, so give you guys a little bit of time to jump on in here. We're gonna talk about some Bitcoin. We got to talk about the market, right, guys? The market's going absolutely crazy, but I'm just gonna give you guys again just a little bit of time to get in here, and I'm going to share this over on X and all that good stuff. Welcome, welcome. Gotta share this over on X. So much to talk about today. I think the early morning show is just gonna be a live stream. I'm just gonna live stream for like a solid hour in the morning, chop up the videos, put them out throughout the day, and then maybe go live again in the afternoon and then chop up some videos and let them go out. We are live. Where is she? Cool. All right. We're gonna give these guys again just a little minute to join us. Jay for the win. Welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome. Like I said, we're gonna start doing these lives. I was having some issues with the live streams before, but I think we might have fixed the problem. We might have found the solution, right? Let's talk about some Bitcoin, right? As you guys could see, total market cap coming in today at a 3.28. Bitcoin seeing some big sell-off, which is kind of what we were talking about yesterday. That early in the week fake out, right? Yesterday being just Monday. And, I told you guys sometimes, we see this pump early in the week, it ends up being a fake, right? So now people want to know, okay, well, where's Bitcoin headed next? Are we breaking down here? Some people even thinking like, is this the top of the cycle? We're going to talk about it all today. I'll let you guys know again my thoughts, right? Because this is really the first time that I'm seeing this, by the way. I literally just opened Coin Market Cap. So a lot of the times when you guys get my initial reaction to the markets in the morning, especially, they are genuine, authentic. Like I don't know what's going on right now. So I'm finding out with you guys too. So as you guys can see, we can see what's trending over here, what people are um trading, right? Even if they're selling it, they're trading it, right? That's why I always say I look for coins that have volume, right? On this dip. Seems like these coins have some volume, but the volume just kind of heading in their own direction, right? So you guys can see again, Bitcoin coming in at a 105, Ethereum coming in at 2,555, down like 4%. XRP also down 4% today. Let's see what's going on Bitcoin. You can see Fear Index coming in at 53, just moving back and forth on the fear greed, right? But really starting to break down below some key levels of what was support. But now, see, when you start breaking down below that support, now you got to break back above it. So now that all that support that we developed is now resistance that we have to, again, break out of. So we're going to see if we can do exactly that. No, don't start doing this right now to me, Bitcoin. Don't start acting funky. Let's see. We're having connection issues, maybe. Give me 1 second. Tell you guys about my day at McDonald's today, by the way. Dude, I went to McDonald's this morning because I have to get the biggest iced coffee imaginable. It's the only way I can wake up. And this guy in front of me, like it's like 6:30, 7. This guy in front of me orders an orange soda, and I'm just thinking, like, wow. What planet is this guy on drinking orange soda at 6 in the morning? Like what the heck? Like I thought I eat like a child. This dude is serving up some soda in the morning, dude. That's totally crazy. Okay, let's see. Let's dive on into these charts, right? See kind of what's going on some of these more micro time intervals. You guys could see. Looks like we had a rejection on the daily, right? Yikes. And I just want to make sure that you guys can see this. Just yesterday, it looks like we rejected off of this zone right here. And I did tell you guys that if we had a rejection, we could probably see a pretty quick retest. And it's Bitcoin really just on the 10th even was all the way up at 110. Now again, dropping all the way down. seeing this fake out, right? We got all the way up to 108, saw fake out. Now people want to know again, is the market breaking down? Is the cycle topped out here? And I was telling you guys, hey, got to be careful. We just rejected off this top of this rising wedge. And ever since then, it's just been kind of like concerning volume, right? Just not really there. So again, a lot of people thinking, big breakdown happen, or is this just a shakeout, right? Look at the weekly chart. Oh my gosh, this is ugly. Talk about that sideways movement, right? We talk about sideways movement as lack of demand, and look at the 1 week chart. This thing looks like not hot. If you look at, let's see what's going on some of these smaller charts. The last 3 hours, Bitcoin starting to break down. You can see the rejection happening here. Create a shoulder head shoulder here, and just starting to rip down below some key levels of resistance. And like I said, now that we've broken down this far, we have now what was support is now resistance. So strong levels of support also sometimes equal strong levels of resistance, and we break under them, it gets hard to break above that. I'm paying attention to. You could see even the 4 hour chart looking really funky. Monthly chart looking like it could really go either way in a big way, right? Market is really indecision mode, but honestly, again, with this breakdown happening all the way down below 105.5, now 105.1, yikes, right? Let's see what the peanut galleries say, right? 82% of these people still feeling good on it. 18% of people bearish on it. Some people says, I wonder will the next all-time high Bitcoin be this year. This guy's saying Bitcoin is approaching a key zone, right? He's thinking that Bitcoin is going to have a drop down and then it's going to go back up. He's saying Bitcoin, he thinks is going to drop down to 103, and then I think he's bearish. Looks like he's bearish. He's thinking that we're going to have a rejection up there again. We'll see. A lot of people believe in what the heck he's saying. Posts and stuff, even the crying face, the down arrow emoji thing. Some people are still playing in meme coins right now, man. I can't believe that. If you're trading Solana meme coins, you're crazy. Somebody says pattern holding up. Yeah, so this is another scenario, right, that we talked about. This possible cup and handle, this possible cup and handle pattern that we had playing out here, right? You could see this cup right here. It has a handle, and this thing could still send, right? This could still send. You could see kind of even he talked about where it did it on gold, where we had this cup and handle play out on gold, and then a big run up. Interesting. That would involve Bitcoin having a pretty key retest. He posted this just 8 minutes ago. He said this pattern is still holding up. It is. I mean, we haven't broken down too far, but again, look at this price action, man. Just kind of nasty. And some people would say that this market is manipulated. I don't know that that is a fact, so I don't know that I can say that. But I think it probably is. Somebody said this Bitcoin rally isn't over. More green candles are imminent. I don't think they're imminent. I don't like when people say this stuff like that. It's imminent that this is going to happen. It has to happen. It's like, no, it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen. Anything can happen. Why do people say things like this? So dumb. It's like some people are like, in 72 hours, this is going to happen. It's like, bro, I'm like 80% accurate on this, and I'm not even telling you that these things are going to happen for sure because I don't know that. How could I ever know that? Like, guys, stop listening to people that talk about things that are going to happen as imminent, right? Totally crazy. So some people, he said that this was local top. local top. He's saying basically that we haven't found a top to the cycle, which is kind of what I've been saying. But again, not going to say that a Bitcoin pump and more green candles is imminent. I'm going to say that it's probable, right? It's possible that we don't, that we drop down more. It's probable that the cycle is not over yet. That's what I would say personally. But again, maybe this guy can read the future and I can't. I don't know. Some people also talking about reclaiming some key support, bouncer bull trap. Again, are we going to break above? We talked about yesterday how important it was. 1085, right? 1085 is the zone that I'm looking for a confirmation. And I said, if we do not see a confirmation at 1085, right? Not 1081, not 1082, we need to see a close above 1085 for the market to start feeling more of a bullish sentiment. Sure enough, we broke down off of that. Somebody said, I'm thinking it's going to drop down in July so I can buy shoot up on my birthday, retire at 19. Nice. That's what's up, man. Yeah. I mean, there is a chance that this recovery does take a little bit longer. We talked about my initial prediction, right? My initial prediction was a recovery in July, but I mean, honestly, the market might even see more of a correction happen in July based off of some of these charts because, again, right, we have to pay attention to the possibility of what I've been saying, right? Because every time I give you guys a video, I don't know if you noticed this, but I kind of talk about both scenarios, right? I'll be like, okay, well, the bullish case scenario, we have this going on for us. The bearish case scenario, well, we have to pay attention to. We have this to pay attention to, right? Well, I want you guys to pay attention to something right now, okay, right? And that is on the yearly chart, or no, the all-time chart, right? The double top, okay? This is what I want you guys to pay attention to. This was a double top, and the concern is that this is a double top, right? That's kind of what the concern is, because, and the reason why that's a concern, right, is because we had our other cycle, right? Look at Bitcoin price right here, guys, just so you can see. Bitcoin in 2020. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell y'all something, okay? When I got on YouTube with it, Bitcoin was at 3,000, okay? Bitcoin right here, 2020, is at 5,000. 5,000. 5, okay? Bitcoin shoots all the way up from 5,000, creates a bull flag, jumps up to 17, creates a bull flag, jumps up to 35, creates a bull flag, shoots up to 50 to 58, 48, shoots up again, all the way up to this 58 range, creates a shoulder head shoulder here, drops back down into 20, had that pullback in Q1, all the way from really kind of like March, all the way into what would be like April, or not April, I'm sorry, July, right? Had a big run up, creates a bull flag into October, runs up again, tops out right here at like 60, at 66 or something like that, 60 something K, drops down, right? Double topped, drop down, bear flag, and then recovery. Then at the start of this cycle, right? This cycle did not start in 2024. Just so you know that. The cycle did not start in 2024. This cycle did not start in 2025 either. This cycle started in 2023. This cycle right now. Okay, so you guys that got into this cycle right now, this cycle started in 2023, right? 2020, yeah, well, I guess even really could argue even that it started in like 2022, right? Because this is 2022, but yeah, 2023 is where we really started to see the market come back. And this is where we were talking about again, 12,000, right? From 66 to 12,000, right? And I was saying, I don't think that Bitcoin was going to go to 12,000. I think that we're somewhere near the bottom. This 16K range ended up being the bottom, right? And then we went all the way from 16,000 in 2022, guys, all the way to Bitcoin going to 110,000. It's insane. Absolutely insane what we saw the cycle already. So the question is this the double top? Is this the top? Or is this again just another bump in the road? Now I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's the top, right? Every time we've had a top in the past, we've had a blow off top, right? It's been a firework finale of a blow off top, right? Even Trump's last term, right? It was a lot of, you know, uncertainty, but the market's still moving up. As a matter of fact, people were thinking, like, can this market still keep going? Can it still keep going? And Bitcoin, of course, having a blow off top, and then market kind of heads into turbulence for a couple of years after that. And then again, same type of situation. The market just on a slow grow since 2022, no blow off top yet. So I'm not thinking that Bitcoin has already topped out. I'm just thinking that it's business as usual. Bitcoin is looking volatile. Can it see a significant correction in a situation like this, though? Yeah, it can see a significant correction in a situation like this. And that's one thing that we have talked about. I do think that in a situation like this, that 100K is definitely not out of the question on Bitcoin based off of this chart. Because again, you got this little rabbit ears for me here, and this is not good, right? You can see it formed right here. These little rabbit ears, call it the McDonald's M, whatever you want to call it. I call it those things just so that you guys could get used to seeing this pattern play out and kind of understanding that this is actually a sign of, again, a reversal in our trend, right? You guys could see this was a rising wedge here. This was an indicator that the trend might start breaking down, right? The trend did start breaking down again, create this little rabbit ears, and then drop down low here. Thought that we were going to possibly even create a shoulder head shoulder here, but Bitcoin decided it wants to jump up, reject off of this zone up here, and now again, still hanging in limbo, right? Is Bitcoin going to see some retests of some lower levels? And if that happens, how low can this go? Well, I'll tell you right now that if we see a retest of 100K, my bet is that we would probably go lower than that in this situation. And the reason why I'd say that is because we're at 104 right now, and where we're at with our greed index, we're at 53. So this is kind of telling me also, as well as the lack of volume. I didn't even have to put the R side to know that we're lacking volume in a situation like this. But this right here is what I'm paying attention to. Because in my opinion, this is a very telling chart, and Bitcoin is doing something really that it hasn't really done before, right? This is not really how Bitcoin generally acts when this type of event happens with the Fear Greed Index creating this little rabbit ears, right? You can see right here, we create the rabbit ears, we drop down back into the orange here, happened here again, rabbit ears, we drop down into the red, right? With rabbit ears right here, we drop down into the orange, right? And so here we go from the red all the way. We create this bull flag in the yellow, jump up, rabbit ears in the green. Are we going to see a rejection and a correction back down again? We could have a shoulder head shoulder playing out here. We talked about the fact that fake outs happen early in the week. Real price action happens on Thursday. And then into the weekend, we could see whatever, more sell off usually or whatever. But if the price breaks down on a Thursday, I do expect that the price is going to break down more into the weekend. That would be kind of my prediction if Bitcoin again has, a bad close on today. Now, if Bitcoin can have a solid close on today, I would say that Bitcoin would probably need to have really, in a short term situation. And again, this is not even to get us out of the woods. This is just to get us back into the conversation right now. But I think that Bitcoin would need to have a close on today around like really 1055, right? And you guys could see we're already starting to break down now. Today is the 17th. You guys could see we had this rejection just yesterday, all the way up at 108, drop down here again, tried to push back up, couldn't, shoulder head shoulder here, broke the neckline, dropping down, and now again about to be sitting on some key levels of support. If this zone does not hold again, This thing is going to send down to 100K. And I don't know. I don't know, man. Is this what we want to see on happening on a Tuesday? Again, we do have some big news with interest rate announcements and stuff like that are coming out this week, but I don't know. I don't know what could be the catalyst to pump this market. It seems like only that can be the catalyst, but it seems like a lot of eyes are not even on the economy right now, to be honest with you. It seems like people are not paying very much attention to the economy, which is really when these whales seem to be accumulating. They seem to accumulate when nobody's paying attention to Bitcoin, right? Because nobody wants to pay attention to the market when the market's going down. They only want to pay attention to the market when the market is euphoric. They only want to pay attention to the market around the times of the top, right? So the fact that the market is seeing a little bit of correction right now, of course, people are not paying attention to the market. They're paying attention to everything else, watching the war, watching this and that. And so again, the market is just kind of not really doing much, and we could really see that happening on the RSI, right? We're always paying attention. I pay attention to volume, right? Because again, a lack of volume is an indicator that we're probably going to see more correction happening, right? You can see Bitcoin rejecting off of this daily chart and in the amount of red that that's bringing into the market. But yeah, somebody said, good morning, guys. And just so you guys know too, again, these the Crypto J in the morning show, it's gonna be a live show from now on. I think it's better to just go live in the morning. So now that we got the live streams popping, they're steady, we're gonna start going live more. But you guys could see, even on our RSI here, it's looking like we had a rejection off of this moving average right here. And so this is a little bit concerning, right? The fact that we had this rejection. Same thing, we see this rejection happening on this Keltner channel. And if you look at our volume, right, this volume is getting smaller and smaller over here on Bitcoin. So again, something that I'm paying attention to. Sometimes when the volume gets smaller, we're either creating a wedge or we're breaking down, right? In this situation, we're not really creating a wedge. I mean, if we created a wedge, that would require a drop down again to the 100K anyway, so that we could have that pennant, right? But right now, it's looking more like the reason for this is, again, because the market might see more sell-off. And this is totally something that is normal, in my opinion, that we would see on a Monday, right? We talk about the fake out. When did the fake out happen, guys? The fake out happened on Monday. Is the rule of Mondays and Thursdays kind of making sense? Again, that's something that I noticed. That's not a known thing, just so you guys know. That's not something that everybody talks about. That's something that literally I noticed in the market over watching these charts every single day. But I think that maybe we call that the Crypto J indicator. I don't know, because I don't know anybody else that talks about days of the week and the importance of them and importance of closes at certain times. I mean, to me, that really takes like an understanding of the market and actually like understanding how the market flows. Again, I'm not saying I can predict the future. I'm not saying that I know what's going to happen necessarily, but I am saying that this market has a way of moving that if you're new to cryptocurrency, you might not notice these types of things happening. But if you've been watching these charts every single day for years, every single day, you will notice things that are happening on certain times, certain days. When some of these announcements and stuff like that are set for certain days, I'm kind of even planning out like, okay, this based off of this happening, based off of kind of what I'm used to seeing, and based off of the days that they're planning on making these announcements, I think that maybe this might be a bullish case scenario, or maybe this might be a bearish case scenario. Ultimately, these guys are not your friend. They're trying to trick you. They're trying to accumulate when you're not accumulating, right? And a lot of the times they like to accumulate at the cheapest. Not a lot of the times. They do like to accumulate at the cheapest price possible, which means that they're going to dump the price down to excruciating, agonizing levels so that they can feel comfortable with buying it, where you're going to feel totally uncomfortable, where you're going to want to get out the market, right? But the time when everybody's getting out the market is really when I'm the most interested. When YouTube is the most quiet and all the other YouTubers are like, okay, there's nothing to talk about anymore, let me get out of here. That's really when I'm watching the market the most. I tell you guys all the time on these Bitcoin dips, I'm paying attention to volume. I'm paying attention to where the money is going. You know, where smart money is going. Sometimes smart money is going into Bitcoin. Sometimes smart money is going into Ethereum. Sometimes smart money is moving into altcoins. You know, but usually smart money is moving into Bitcoin. I do think that this is the goal, guys. In my opinion, again, do what you want with your money. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. If you're not buying Bitcoin, I don't know what you're doing in cryptocurrency, to be honest with you. And I'm bullish on a lot of coins. I'm bullish on meme coins. I'm bullish on Ethereum, everything, DeFi, everything. But if you're not accumulating Bitcoin, then this whole space just went right over your head because this, in my opinion, is the safest investment in cryptocurrency. I'll say that. I'll say Bitcoin is your safest investment in cryptocurrency because if Bitcoin doesn't do well, then the market's not going to do well, right? So again, if you have confidence in cryptocurrency, if you're diversifying a portfolio, you don't have Bitcoin in your portfolio, then I'm not sure what's going on in that situation. But I know a lot of people don't own any Bitcoin. I know a lot of people don't own any Bitcoin. And the reason why people feel like they don't need to own Bitcoin is because they feel like the market cap is so high. They're like, oh, 2 trillion market cap. I want to make 1,000% gains of this cycle. Guys, the people that have dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Ah, the people that have dollar cost average into Bitcoin and just remained patient. It makes me rack my brain over how people are not also accumulating Bitcoin. It has proved itself for years now, guys. Like we have data all the way from like 2023 over on CoinMarketCap of Bitcoin and the cycle and how it has been growing over time. I am somebody that thinks that Bitcoin could hit $1 million, but I'm not somebody that thinks that Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million anytime soon, right? Bitcoin is going to hit, if Bitcoin hits $1 million or when Bitcoin hits $1 million, um, and nobody really knows when something like that would happen. But um, I don't think that that's an impossibility that Bitcoin will hit $1 million. Just not again anytime soon, right? So, as a matter of fact, I think that there's a better chance that Bitcoin needs to hit $100,000 before Bitcoin even hits an all-time high. And I know that's not the most popular thing to say. Somebody said they bought Trump coin instead of Bitcoin. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Don't buy Trump coin instead of Bitcoin, guys. Do not forget why maybe you got into this space. Some of you guys got in the space because you believe in Bitcoin, because you believe in the space. And then some of you guys are not. You listen to me talk about Bitcoin every single day, and then you're not even holding anything that is any Bitcoin. So again, I'm paying attention to Bitcoin on these dips all the time. Bitcoin is the confidence in our markets. You guys can see when Bitcoin dips, the market dips, right? Toshi coin down today 7%, starting to print some red as again Bitcoin has its breakdown just this morning, right? Market looking very uncertain, right? Now we're just looking at a 15-minute chart. I generally don't use any chart under a 4-hour chart too, just so you guys know that. When I look at things, the reason people think that I know the future or like they're like, wow, this guy was spot on, because I'm not looking at a 15-minute chart. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart, which means that if I'm saying that, okay, this looks like a double bottom here, and this is a 4-hour chart, and this candle is going to take 4 hours to play out, and I know that I have a better probability of being right than wrong in this situation, just based off of the chart, then and the price breaks green, then I make a video and I'm like, Toshi got pumped. And everybody's like, oh, wow, how did you know that? Well, again, not trading on the 15, I'm trading on the 4, right? So this stuff takes time to play out, but I know when I have a decent setup. This is what you call swing trading or day trading, really. I guess a 4-hour chart could even be a day trade, right? There's some people, they only trade on 4-hour intervals. Do you believe that? Some people will be like, look, I'm going to take this trade in the morning and I think by this afternoon, I'm going to just sell it. I'm going to be out the market. Then you got people that are scalping, right? These scalpers, in my opinion, they're staying on anything below a 15-minute chart is not made for a TA. It's made for somebody that's looking to scalp, somebody that is looking to be really in and out the market really fast. And some of these guys are even scalping on a 1-second chart, which is absolutely totally crazy. I definitely don't do that. The minute chart, even. I mean, if I was going to scalp a trade it would probably be on a minute or a 5-minute chart up to, I don't know. I wouldn't do a 15-minute. I don't see the point of that. Just 15 minutes just doesn't seem like a lot's going on anyway. But you guys could see even on our hourly chart, it does look like we're starting to see some sell-off and starting to break down hop resistance since a little bit. I just want to pull this up actually. Just to kind of see, but I want to make sure that you guys are also actually, okay, you guys are actually seeing it too. Okay, so you guys can see we're starting to now break down below some of these levels. As a matter of fact, we're going to pull up the Keltner channels. You guys can see, yikes, right? We created this again, McDonald's M right here. We had this rejection. This is a bear flag. We retested the zone, and we talked about what happens sometimes again if we break underneath this bottom Keltner channel level. It could be a slippery slope, right? That's always say retest under this. It could be a slippery slope. Not necessarily to say that that is what's going to happen. We could still create a double bottom here, but now we kind of have to be paying attention to like this shoulder, head, shoulder forming, right? This could be like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. If Bitcoin wants to send lower, we could see the market start breaking down. Today is Tuesday. I don't expect to see a further capitulation. It could happen. It could definitely happen. I mean, we'd have to look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin coming in at 104.5 right now. It's breaking down right now. Interesting. Never a dull moment in cryptocurrency. Let me tell you what, man. Let me tell you what. But what do you guys think? Are you bullish or are you bearish in this kind of case scenario? Is Bitcoin coming in at 104.5 today? Wow. The screen is still on you. Oh, okay. Oops. Sorry. Well, now it should be back. We should be solid now. T Ferg says he's been short on the market. He's been shorting it. Yeah, see, I always give you guys both case scenarios so that you guys can make your own decision on how you feel about the market. I just give you kind of the facts, right? Be like, we can go this way, or the price could break out this way. Key level of support, key level of resistance. If we don't hold this, we could be headed here. If we can bounce off of this, we could be headed here. I try to tell you guys that one so that you learn how to read the chart, so that you know when we're at moments of decision, but also so that you guys can make your own decision. I want you guys to get used to making your own financial decisions after doing your research, right? And actually having a little bit of understanding over what's going on. And we talked about again that shoulder, head, shoulder that could be playing out on Bitcoin. You can see shoulder, head, shoulder, rejection on the one. We need to have a solid close today, in my opinion. This candle, we do not want this candle to keep leaking like this. Right now, the market is leaking, and this is going to look like a bloodbath if we open up another red candle tomorrow and we have a red close tomorrow. If we close tomorrow around 102, we're going to see a breakdown into the weekend, I would say, almost for sure. And I would almost say even that we would break even below this bottom level. Personally, I think so. That's just me. And again, some of that comes down to just like, one, I'm reading the trend, right? I see the rejection on the one. I know this bottom Keltner channel could be some support down at 100, which is what we've been saying for a long time now. But also, I just feel like because we would be creating this, again, this McDonald's M, if we break down too far below, again, 100K, this could lead to some more sell-off, significant, especially with the events that are happening in the world right now. You just can't take that off the table that we can see a significant correction to Bitcoin, right? Everything considered. And I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm just being transparent. Again, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know that there was going to be a war. The market was looking solid, right? We talked about every zone that we broke out of that was a key zone. We talked about every time that we rejected off a key zone of resistance also. But again, nobody can predict things like Coinbase getting hacked, wars, all this stuff. I mean, maybe some people were predicting this war, but I mean, I don't know. This war was very put off for a long time, right? It's been a lot of tension for a long time. Even with the Pakistan India thing, that was another thing that had our markets looking really crazy. It was a false flag. So people really don't know what to think about what's going on right now, even in the Middle East, because people are wondering, like, is this like, I think a lot of people do think that this is a legit war. And I have no idea. I'm just I'm just a guy sitting at my computer, right? But we've seen these fake wars and stuff like that to, in my opinion, manipulate price. I think it's really weird that all these countries that are going to war have been also countries that have been openly talking about the fact that they want to own Bitcoin or openly owning Bitcoin. Some of these countries that are in the most heated of debates are the biggest holders of Bitcoin, which is totally crazy to me. Somebody says when politicians, bankers, and mainstream medias tell retail investors to buy Bitcoin, number one question is, why should we buy? Yeah, that's a good question because usually when you're hearing about it in the media and when the media is talking about buying this stuff, it's usually an indicator that the market is either almost cooked or that the market is already cooked because these guys usually by the time it gets in the media, the news and all that stuff, they like to talk about things that, how can I explain it? When by the time, so there's a thing in stocks and trading. It's called it. They say buy the rumor and sell the news because by the time it gets to the news, it's already like it's not cool anymore. It's like if you heard a song and then once the song gets on the radio, you're like, I don't really want this song anymore. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like a similar type of thing. The way the market reacts, they're like, oh, this is like now this is, I guess, already getting covered by the news and stuff like that. This must be the top. That's how a lot of people view this. Now, is it necessarily always like that? Not necessarily. You know, Bitcoin's going to go up, it's going to go down, but yeah, when the media is telling you things like, well, what I see as bullish things is when the media is telling, or when I'm looking at times that I might want to accumulate or start dipping my feet into it, is when they start making headlines like China is making Bitcoin illegal, India is making Bitcoin illegal, Coinbase hack, war, right? These are times that actually I'm paying more attention to Bitcoin and looking for entry points because, again, I am the type of person that likes the dollar cost average. I believe in the stock to flow model. I like these long term indicators are telling me on the logarithmic in terms of the chance of Bitcoin seeing a recovery. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Bitcoin is undefeated and so is the U.S. market is undefeated. So just want to throw that out there. It does see ups and downs. It's totally normal. We've seen these ups and downs through times of war in the past, even. And again, Bitcoin is undefeated, right? So I'm in this space because I believe in Bitcoin. I'm long on Bitcoin. I say it till I'm blue in the face, man. But yeah, I'm Crypto J for a reason, man. I've been doing this for a long time for a reason. I'm passionate about this space for a reason. Not going to get up and dip out and leave just because Bitcoin drops down. Even guys, if Bitcoin decides it wants to drop down to 80K, I'm not gonna dip. I'm not gonna leave, and it might stay low for a while if that's the case scenario. If Bitcoin does decide it wants to capitulate, we could be looking at a longer recovery. I still wouldn't think that that's the top of Bitcoin. Call me crazy, but I just haven't seen a blow off top. This would have to be the most anticlimactic cycle I've ever been a part of. And again, I've pretty much been a part of every Bitcoin cycle now that Bitcoin has had. So and on YouTube with it since $3,500 Bitcoin. So, I'm still paying attention to the market. You guys can see some of these gains now are starting to really lead the market. Ethereum now down 5%, Solana down 6%. This is going to cause some blood in the market as Bitcoin drops below 104.5. This will create blood. This is a key level of resistance that we're now, or a key level of support that we're now starting to drop under. As you guys can see, some of these coins are getting really smacked. Look at Sui down almost 10% on the day. Um, Maybe we will see some kind of capitulation event happen today, some big sell off. Because again, 104.4 now. Maybe we will see 102 happen. What do you guys think? You guys think that we're more likely to see 102 play out here, or do you guys think that Bitcoin will create some levels of support around this 104 range? Again, we have a lot of big announcements this week, so we can't also rule that out of all this stuff that we have going on this week that could indicate that Bitcoin has already found its bottom and that Bitcoin can still make a recovery, right? At the same time, we have to pay attention to the fact that we created a rising wedge, the fact that this trend has already turned over. On some of these shorter time intervals, we still have to make it out of the woods now, right? We've already seen Bitcoin drop down. This rising wedge right here was really what seemed to be an indicator that the trend had reversed. And ever since then, you can see the sideways price action again. Tell you guys, don't like sideways price action, lack of volume. You could see the price drop down. We thought we had some kind of a possible double bottom here. The market jumped up early in the week. Again, fake out, right? Drop down, and then again, another fake out early in the week. Just been a nasty, dirty month for Bitcoin, as you guys can see. Anybody that has been swing trading this month, a lot of people have been getting absolutely wrecked and liquidated. And this is why I always tell you guys that, in the past, I have swing traded. I'm not saying that I haven't. I'm just saying that the level that I'm at now, with all the lessons that I've learned over time, I just learned to, one, be patient. I learned to, two, sometimes it's best to just dollar cost average, to wait things out. Like in a situation like this, honestly, if I really wanted to get into the market, like, one, I mean, this, in my opinion, is not the best buy zone. Personally, I think that there's a good chance. If anything, this is not a crazy put opportunity. I'll say that. But again, I'm not telling you guys to go out and short the market here. I'm just saying that this looks more like a put than a long situation to me. So I would expect, again, that we're going to see a retest of some of these lower ranges. But again, the way that this thing's been moving, maybe that's what they want me to think. Maybe we have bounce off of this with some kind of crazy force and the market totally turns around. I have no idea what's going to happen here. But if I had my money was burning a hole in my pocket and I didn't know how to short the market and I didn't want to short the market, then maybe not a crazy idea would be like half here, or maybe like 25% of what I was looking to spend here, and then put more money in if we break down even lower, because there's a good chance that, again, we do want to break down even lower. But there is still a chance that we could still hold this range. Now, it looks like Bitcoin is starting to really see some sell off, and this is what I was concerned about, right? Opening up some, oh my God. Wow, look at these hourly candles. Each one of these candles represents 1 hour, guys. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 red candles in a row. 12 hours of negative closes. This must be because the United States talking about its involvement in the war. This has to be, because what else could be dropping this market at the rate that it's dropping in the past 12 hours? It's kind of crazy, but people want to know when the bottom is going to be. It does look like this thing wants to send lower. We might see a retest sooner than later. If we break this neckline here, look at this. Oh my God. Yikes. Wow. You could really see it there, huh? And we break below that bottom level, how it could turn into a slippery slope. We talked about it, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. We talked about it, right? We talking about these patterns as they're playing out. The rejection here. Look, we rejected off of this right here, and look how much sell-off this caused in the past hour. Like, what? This is crazy. Bitcoin now coming in at 104.1. This thing is going to drop down. It's going to see a retest more than likely. Again, maybe I shouldn't say that, because again, I'm speaking in terms of, like, I know for sure what's going to happen and I don't know what's going to happen, but I would say that there's more than likely a better chance that we're going to see some more bloodshed in the market right now. possibly even within the next couple hours, right? Because Bitcoin really sending below that bottom Keltner level now at like a disturbingly fast rate and coming up on some key levels of resistance as well. If we drop down below this, right, you can kind of see we're resting right on top of this point right here. If we drop down below this, the next zone that we're going to see is probably around, I'm thinking around here, or really more around here. Dang, man, we might see a big sell-off into the weekend. But again, I mean, maybe not, right? Maybe not. There's always a possibility. Look at this, man. I told you guys, look, we jump up here, we have this rejection, then we start having this breakdown. We trend below this bottom Keltner channel, and I told you guys how it becomes a slippery slope, right? When we start rejecting off the bottom level, look, touched here, drop down, big drop down, really. This is now creating a bear flag. Again, it gets pretty tough to break out of this bottom range after it falls down this far. So, again, you could see the shorts rolling in right now. And that's what I was telling you guys, a sideways price action that we're seeing. It's not hot, right? Not attractive, not appealing to the market. Certain prices are appealing to retail, and this is definitely not a zone that's super appealing to retail. It's a zone that's pretty appealing to guys like me, but at the same time, it's also telling me, this chart's also telling me to maybe be a little bit patient, because this is just looking a little bit cooked. This market is looking absolutely cooked right now. So just something to pay attention to. Maybe I should check on the stock market as well. I'm sure the stock market is not doing so hot either. Um, just kind of want to see some of the other stuff that's going on in the market. Oh, really? It's not going to let me go on that website. Okay. Guess some websites are being a little bit limited right now. Let's see if we could check out some of these other coins. Or maybe it's just my internet connection. Maybe that might be the end of the stream, boys. I don't know. We'll see. See if we can keep it going. Try disconnected while we reconnect to you. Oh, no. We disconnected. All right. Well, until the next video, boys. I will catch you guys. Peace. Literally, what is happening? And we're back live again. I don't know what the heck is. I have no idea what's happening here. I just reset my computer. We were no longer live, guys. This live was supposed to be cut off, but I guess we're live again. So I'm gonna give you guys 10 more minutes of live, and then I'm gonna try to cut it again. We could talk about whatever you guys want, I guess, for the next 10 minutes, and then we will move on. Sorry for the craziness, guys. Again, I don't know what the heck is going on. The stream off. The stream didn't want to end. So I guess we're going off for 10 more minutes. Again, as you guys could see, Bitcoin really starting to see this correction though, coming in at 104.3. Ethereum also starting to see a big drop down now at 2,400, right? Man, the market is starting to see the effects. Is XRP finally going to drop under $2? XRP has been a dang stable coin again. Ever since it's gotten into this range, we've been wondering, is it every day? Is it going to drop down? Is it going to drop down? And then it doesn't seem like it wants to drop down. So again, wondering if XRP is going to start seeing a correction as well. Solana also down now 6%, coming in at 147. Is the market about to start falling out from under us? Or do we still have some time left in this cycle? We need to see a big move. And honestly, it's looking like more than likely it's going to be a big move down. Some people thinking over here on this side thing, somebody said BTC go to new all-time high. Somebody said I'm bullish on BTC. People are definitely paying attention. Somebody says look dangerous, but could be a good place to open up a BTC long position. He's talking about having a long position open at like around this 103 area. He's really talking about kind of in this range up underneath this 104.5 having a short open. I don't know if this is a good idea, to be honest with you guys. Again, if we don't hold this range, this thing's going to drop down some more and it's going to get kind of ugly in the market. So again, not a big fan of playing with leverage and swing trading opportunities like this. I'm not too big on. The market is just a little bit too much looking nasty. Somebody said BTC, folks, hear me out. The truth is that a buck in this market ain't gonna be a cakewalk. You can believe going to the moon. It's usually about to crash. Retail's getting wiped out. The macro picture is getting ugly. Rates are dropping out. End of the world speech. Yeah, I don't know. Hear a lot of them end of the world speeches. I need to hear more end of the world speeches so I can start feeling good about the market. In my opinion, I like when these guys are feeling bearish and want to leave. It's usually when I like crypto the most. When I don't like crypto the most is when you got a billion influencers all over the internet now that are just talking about cryptocurrency and it's their first cycle and they got in at the top, right? But again, I do like a little bit of fear in the market. In my opinion, a little bit of fear is necessary, but how much fear we will see. Look at the market cap just dropping off of a freaking cliff for cryptocurrency, right? Down now, almost 4% on the day. Oh man, look at this chart, dude. This is looking like it's going to see a retest. I expect these coins to bleed today. It's probably going to see a retest at 3.1 at least. If not that, then lower, possibly even, right? As you guys can see, this chart looking eerily similar to Bitcoin, right? But again, we don't know necessarily what's going to happen in a situation like this. Again, fear greed index coming in at a 53. Our altcoin index ticking back all the way to a 19. 19. Indicating that we are pretty far off, right, from our goal of an altcoin season right now. Bitcoin increasing in volume as well. Bitcoin coming in at 64% volume, or 64% dominance. I'm sorry. Bitcoin establishing its dominance. We know that when BTC dominance is high, that usually our market is dropping, right? Usually or Bitcoin is jumping up really high and the rest of the market is still, either way, usually altcoins dump, right? As you guys can see, when Bitcoin dominance is high, the market is low. And then when Bitcoin dominance drops, the market kind of shoots up, right? These other coins are altcoins. So that's kind of the relation that they have. Now you guys can see Bitcoin's been creating a nasty wedge for quite some time. We drop down right here. But this is still forming a wedge. And actually, it's still showing that we have a bull cycle coming, because once this drops down again, maybe our altcoins will start rising up, and this rising wedge is a bearish pattern happening on Bitcoin right now with a 64% dominance over the market. Now Bitcoin is going to have dominance over the market in a situation like this when the market is dropping down in the way that it is. Of course Bitcoin's going to weigh down the market, right? And these big parabolic shifts and stuff like that. We also have times where Bitcoin establishes dominance when Bitcoin is breaking out too, right? Sometimes when Bitcoin breaks out, we'll see some of this institutional money and some of this retail money leave some of these altcoins and move into Bitcoin as well, because that's a lot of people's strategy, is to make money in altcoins to get a better position in Bitcoin. I don't think that that's a crazy strategy, but I'm also not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. So, take with that a grain of salt. But you guys could see even Suicoin now down 8%. I think Sui's going to see some more sell. It's going to see some more blood happening pretty soon. But again, this market, guys, anything can happen here, right? Anything can happen. I just talk about possibilities and probabilities on my channel. I give you guys both so that you can be the judge, right? Tell you guys my point of view. I back it up with TA, and then I ask you guys, I pose to you guys the question, what do you think will happen in this situation? I give you also my opinions on what I think will happen, but again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. So personally in the situation, bear flag here, we're dropping down. It looks like this looks like on the 1 month that we're going to see a correction, further correction down to this 100K range by Sunday. Just my thoughts. I don't know. That's a guess. Totally a guess. Again, I'm just, as you guys can see, market getting smacked right now. We're going to check out Toshi one more time, and then I'm going to cut the live because an hour now. So longer than I wanted to be live. I already tried to cut the live, and it didn't want to cut, so that's why we're still live. I literally reset my computer, and I was still live. So I'm like, what the heck? How does that work? But you guys can see Toshi Coin seeing some heavy volatility as Bitcoin starts to break down. Still holding above 200 million. We do have support above around 200 million. That's definitely probably the level that I would be paying attention to for support on Toshi. It's a key zone of support. We now have some key resistance levels also that we have to regain if possible. Again, it's going to take a healthy Bitcoin. It's going to take some confidence in the market. And I'm not sure what will restore confidence into the market. Now, again, we do have some big announcements that are happening this week. Still waiting on a rate cut, waiting on a lot of things to happen. So again, maybe those things can happen, but Bitcoin right now looking pretty funky, and so is Toshi Coin. I think a lot of the market is starting to see some of the effects of this sell-off. We do need to stay above this 200 million range. Otherwise, we could see really even a lower retest of like as low as like 175 or something like that. If we drop down off that 200 million range. But if we do end up holding some support jumping off the 200 million range, right? Then we need to see a reclimb back up to 225. We need to have a strong close above that. Then, ultimately we got to start working our way back up to like 300 million. That's when I would say that this is looking like a confirmed break around like really, if we can get around like 270, 265, 270, this would be a solid breakout and a solid breakup and an indicator that we might see Toshi Coin again continuing this trend. We do know that sometimes the price does fall below this. It's not necessarily the end of the world when the price falls below the bottom Keltner channel. It is, however, telling us that the chart is creating new levels of resistance. So just something to pay attention to, just food for thought, guys. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just the homie Crypto J. You got to go out here and do your own research on all this stuff. If you got anything out of the video today, please like, comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not tapped in, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.